Welcome back to the We Are More Than Moms podcast. And today we're joined by Aubrey Matthesius, who many of you may know as the TikTok's chill mom. Aubrey went viral on TikTok for her refreshingly relaxed and positive approach to motherhood, showing the world that you don't have to buy into the constant pressure, the comparison game, or the idea that you need to do it all to be a good mom. Her content resonates because it's real, funny, and freeing, reminding moms everywhere that sometimes the best thing we can do is just let go, enjoy our kids, and stop overcomplicating things. We're so excited to chat with her today about what it really means to be a chill mom, how she stays grounded while raising a little one and a little one on the way, and the lessons she's learned from sharing her journey so openly online.
Welcome. We're so excited to have you.
We are so excited. So I came across one of your videos and then I got a few of my friends sending me your videos and I was like, oh my gosh, I know, I follow her. You have to follow her. And I feel like TikTok, Instagram, and motherhood lately have felt very heavy these last few years, which on the one hand is so important for mothers to not feel alone. And I think that's important. But I also think sometimes there are shortcuts and it's not a bad thing to take them. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we want to enjoy motherhood and sometimes we put this pressure on ourselves and we know this because we do Vent Away Fridays and we don't let people step in and we want to avoid the sleep training and this and that, but it makes our experience harder. So we wanted to welcome you and just for you to share a bit about your journey and about your platform.
Well, thank you. Well, it's crazy that this has even happened because really TikTok is the reason I started these videos. I was so frustrated watching what these moms were posting. First of all, I avoided having a baby for 5+ years because of watching TikTok moms. Their content was so discouraging, heavy, exhausted. Don't become a mom because you'll be like me. I'm like, oh, geez, girlfriend, like you're making this look miserable. And so because of that, I pushed it down. Well, I actually got pregnant and I experienced this baby and I'm like, I love this. I don't want to become like them. What do I do? And so what I did is I called up like the boomers. I'm like, hey, why were you so happy? And why are all like the millennials and Gen Zs so miserable? What's going on? And they're like, it's simple. They overcomplicated it. Everything is controlled. They have to control everything. Everything is driven by guilt, mom guilt. And if you can release all of that and just go the old-fashioned way, you're going to find so much more freedom and joy in motherhood. And truly, that's how it started. And my first video that I ever launched was literally just cut the bottle warmer, cut the wipe warmer. And that's what blew up. And so I called myself the low maintenance mom, trying to make your routines more low maintenance. And that's what blew up. And it was refreshing to this generation because all they're seeing is exhausted, tired. It's got to be complicated. And if it's not, you're not a good mom.
I feel like consumerism and also the internet has, I feel like I'm aging myself by saying the internet, but it's true, has made things exacerbate because now we have so much access to information and you're seeing people's opinions online. And then also we're constantly being sold products, the wipe warmers, the this, the that, and everything is just being commodified.
Right.
And I think that's what we've noticed in the United States. Like we always say in Canada, like everything here is a business. Do you think that, after talking to boomers and all that, like that came up a lot in conversation or?
Yeah. I mean, like I was asking as I was building my registry, do I need a wipe warmer? They're like, a wipe warmer?
Like, what is that?
What is that? Like in the old days, they dumped their baby in the lake to clean their little bum. Like they weren't getting wipes. Like we are living in such a luxurious time. And the way they sell us that we need all of these products is that it's essential for your baby's health. Well, how did these babies survive years and years and years before we had all of these things? Babies are more resilient than we think they are. They've survived in caves. They've survived in deserts. Obviously, we're doing a lot better than that. But I mean, even like bottle warmers, I never bought one. I never used one from day one.
Smart.
I just, if it was really cold, I ran it under some tap water to warm it up. And sometimes I would just give it to the baby cold and we're living and we're thriving.
Yeah.
We're healthy.
This perspective is so refreshing because I remember when I first had my daughter, as a first-time mom, I got so sucked into the noise.
Yeah.
Someone told me I needed a bottle warmer. I'm like, okay, I must get it because I don't want my daughter to like not have like what the other kids have. I don't want her to be behind. Oh, you're going to this sensory class? I must go to sensory class because my daughter's going to be behind if she doesn't go to sensory class. And it was very much like that for a while. And then we moved to Paris for a couple of months for the summer. And it was complete back to basics. There was no sensory class and music class and whatever. There was going to the park, playing with friends, getting messy in the sand pit, in the water fountains, all of that. And it was so refreshing for me to come out of this like bubble of like LA, New York, I guess, where I have been, and just strip down to the basics and realize what you said, which is they don't need that much to be happy. And it puts so much less pressure on me. I didn't have to like do all of those things. We also were living in a tiny apartment compared to like the house here. We didn't have any of all the toys and all the things. And she was so happy. So this perspective is so refreshing because all I'm targeted on Instagram is all the things that I need. So how do you stay grounded in your perspective and not get swayed with all the things going on, things that are marketed to you, instilling FOMO everywhere, maybe even push back on some of your videos, comments, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I see a new trend and I'm like, no, that immediately made me mad. I'm not doing it just because it's new. Like I question, I guess. And anything that's fresh and new in the mom market, I immediately take a step back and go, okay.
Do you have an example of this?
I feel like a new trend is overstimulation toys.
Ooh, yes.
Like,
and overstimulation in general too.
Yeah, like, okay, where is this coming from? Maybe there is some legitimacy with all the screens and everything, sure. But looking back as a kid, I had every colorful toy and it sang and it did all these things. And like, I'll post a toy like, oh my gosh, my baby's loving this. And people are like, no, my baby would be so stimulated. And I'm like, isn't that the point of a toy? Like that's great. I want you to be entertained by this. So I don't know. I think that's another trend where it's like these like, no color wooden blocks.
Yeah, the Love Every
like,
and the...
Yeah, it's like baby jail. Like put a baby behind bars. And,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So like stuff like that immediately makes me mad because I'm like, why? Why are we reinventing the wheel?
Yeah, it's like supposed to be looking chic with your house. And
I think it
like,
comes from aesthetics.
And I think it's selfish.
The whole, it's the whole beige aesthetic. Like, it doesn't match with my decor. That's probably where a lot of it's like, I get the whole Montessori theory.
Agreed.
But I do think that, again, with these like the Love Every toys and whatnot, they're like bad and you can't use them, and the VTech toys. So, and those are the ones that the kids love.
I actually think that the Fisher-Price toy for tummy time is the best thing ever.
Like the kick and play.
Yeah. And also being the piano thing when they're on their belly, like looking at all the colors changing.
Yes.
I think it's great versus the Love Every, which is just like pretty in my space, but doesn't keep him on his tummy for very long.
Any girl who asks me what to put on their registry, and like, I'll go look. And I'm going to start something called Roast My Registry. And I have hundreds of girls who've sent them.
Yes.
And like, they'll send me their beautiful registries. I'm like, girlfriend, 2 months, you're going to be calling me miserable. Like,
what are some things you see on the registry that you're like, no way?
Okay. What is going on with potty training newborns?
What?
Wait, what?
What? That's another thing. Okay. Immediately pissed off when I saw that. I'm like,
sorry, I never even heard of that.
I'm so irritated. So instead of babies pooping in diapers, they have a cup. And you're supposed to follow the cues of your newborn and hold your newborn. These girls sent me their registries, and sorry, girls, you're probably watching this now. And I'm going, what are you thinking? Now you got to rinse a stupid cup when you could just roll a diaper. Why are we reinventing the wheel? Why are we making things so exhausting?
That is crazy. And I think there's a wave of social media. And like, listen, everyone is entitled to raise their kids how they want. But there is so much shame about doing things like the sleep training, the potty training, like that kind of stuff. Like anything that I feel, and I want to talk about sleep training because I feel like there is this, when I go on social media, I'm like, I am an awful mother.
Yeah. Like, why are you not co-sleeping with your child?
I don't care about my children because I slept train. And my kids are fantastic sleepers now. And like, that was my one thing. And again, with the baby-led weaning too, is like, if you don't give them a rib when they're like 4 months old, like you failed. It's like, I did the purees for so long. So I think there is this wave of like crunchy moms.
Yes.
That I get it, but like the shame that comes with doing things how our parents did them on social media, like you look, it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also the same thing with formula and breastfeeding. There's a lot of shame around that too.
So much.
But the sleep training thing really gets people.
Sleep training, listen, that is 90% of people's issue with me is that I am an open advocate of sleep training. In no way do I believe co-sleeping is low maintenance. Your entire bed has to be stripped of your sheets, your comforters, your pillows, according to the Safe Sleep Pediatrics website or whatever. I read through it. So you're not having any pillows, no blankets, You and your partner are not like going to be able to hang out at all. You can't get up and go to the bathroom. That baby's up with you. If you want to co-sleep, that is your decision. I respect that. What I have an issue with is moms turn to co-sleep as a solution to quiet the baby in the night. Therefore, it never ends and it becomes a decision that they never even wanted in the first place, and they're living with it. If you know what it entails and you still choose to do that, I got no problem with that. That's what I tell moms. If you know what you're doing and you're okay with it, fine. What I have to warn moms about is when you're trying to sleep train, it's 3 a.m., that baby's crying, and you bring that baby into your bed, you're forming a habit you will not be able to break.
It's a slippery slope. It's interesting you say that because I've had a lot of sleep issues with my toddler. She started escaping the crib and it was just like a whole saga for like 2 months of no sleep. And everyone would write in, just bring her into your room. You'll sleep so much better. She'll sleep better. And I kept resisting it. People kept saying this, like, just do it for a bit and you can bring her back. And I told my husband, like, that would be such a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Because once you do that, I don't know how you go back. And listen, respect to moms who do it till they're 7 years old, sleeping with their child. Like, good for you. That just would not work in our lifestyle.
No. And I've even seen on TikTok a lot of people comment and say, I've actually got trauma from sleeping in my parents' room that long. Like, I never grew out of the fear of nighttime. I've not been able to adapt since I've become an adult. Like, we as parents have to realize we're also teaching our kids healthy independence. Another thing that makes me mad is this attachment parenting theory. Like, they really want the attachment. I want to bond with my baby. But when we cut that umbilical cord, buddy, we cut the umbilical cord. Like, now my job is to help raise you to be a functioning person in this society.
Yes,
like,
preach.
I don't need you breastfeeding till you're 25 with me on the street. Like, there's a time limit. I'm going to enjoy every second with my newborn that I am holding, every second with my infant, every second with my toddler. But this is not about me. This is not about me feeling better. Like, that's how we have Gypsy Rose situation, because the mom couldn't release her daughter, so she's poisoning her. Like, we're creating this generation of parents that needs this attachment when the baby's like, let me fly, let me be free, let me go play, let me go to daycare. Like,
so that's another thing. There's a lot of pushback in regards to school. So I remember even some family members who, are more traditional. I'm like, isn't she too young to go to school? Like, when I sent her to preschool. And then I'm like, oh, am I doing it too young? Like, is this, and she's like thriving. And I think it's so important for her independence and for other adults to be there and for her to listen to other people other than us. I just think it's like so healthy for her. But there are some people who will say, no, she's going to go to school when she's like 6 or 7.
Which is harder. The longer you wait to expose to certain things, the bigger issues you're going to have. So
and I'm all about like what you said, like giving your kids the tools and you letting them fly. Like, I remember in Montreal, I grew up there, and a lot of people stay in Montreal like for good. Like, they go to college and then they have kids and family there. And my mom and my dad were one of the very few parents who like pushed us to leave. And their whole thing was they wanted to give us every opportunity to let us fly, even though that would be harder for them because they want us to be close. They wanted us to like go see the world, which I'm always going to be grateful for. And I hope to like give back to my daughter and my son about that too, because I think it is so important to learn how to be independent.
Yeah, agreed.
And I think like sleep training, because we talk about it openly, how we sleep trained our children. And we also got pushed back, especially with the Cry It Out. And I think, let's talk about that, because I know that there's different forms of sleep training, and there's, a gentle approach. There's definitely a more harsh approach. Like, what has your approach been with your child?
Yeah. So I absolutely kept that baby in the bassinet in my bedroom too long. I did 4 months. Now, the American Sleep Pediatric, whatever they're called, will say 6 months to a year to prevent SIDS. Well, 4 months, man, he's growing out of that bassinet. So the only option is to get them into their crib. And unless you're rolling that crib into your room, like what is everybody else doing? That's when co-sleeping probably starts. And so we put him in his crib night 1. And I mean, he lost it. Absolutely lost it, because I always tell parents, you want to start co-sleeping before they're aware of which room they're in. If they know I'm in mom and dad's room and I'm no longer in mom and dad's room, it's like, you're going to have a lot more difficult time than if you're kind of jumping on that 3-month route where they're still like, I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what's going on. That's when I'm going to start sleep training next time. But I did kind of like a harsher version of Ferber. Like, I chose my own intervals. So like, I started with 10 minutes. And we jumped to 20 minutes right away. And eventually he tired himself out. It took 3 nights and eventually we got through it. But yeah, it was harsh. I had to call a mom. I was crying like, oh my gosh, he's really crying. Like, what do I do? And she's like, Aubrey, we've done this for years and everybody has turned out fine. Like, babies cry. Go in, check him. Has he pooped? Is he hungry? Is he safe? Yes, then he's okay. And I go in and I check. I don't take the baby out of the crib. I go in at the intervals, say, you're okay, calm down, maybe hand another bottle. And eventually he just learned, I'm not going back to that bassinet in mom and dad's room. And now that kid sleeps 12, 13 hours a night, like loving life.
That's how exactly.
Yeah.
how
And it
my
also
kids are.
goes to show how resilient, adaptable, flexible these kids
Yes.
are. You just have to commit on your end. It's harder for us than it is for them. I think when we commit and when we're consistent, that's when it actually works. But if we
Yeah.
don't, it doesn't.
And
what-
everybody thinks that their kids are going to treat them different after this too. Like they're going to have like a
Side
side eye.
eye.
Like, I hate you. What did you do to me? My kid is
Like 4 months
happy
old.
and thriving and sleeping better than even other kids with their parents right now. Like, your kid is not going to remember this. Number one, your kid is not going to be traumatized. And your kid it's a gift. Sleep
Mhm.
is a gift. And I had somebody ask me, why do we have to train someone how to sleep? Isn't that something that's just natural? Why would we have to train that to our children? I said, we're not training them how to sleep. We're training them when and where to sleep. It's like us. If we stay up till midnight every night, we're going to have to retrain our body to want to fall asleep at 10 o'clock. It's the same concept with sleep training.
Yeah, I was going to say what you would say to a mom who is like, I want to do sleep training, but I'm nervous about this secure attachment. And I'm nervous that my baby's going to hate me. And I mean, I was a sleep trained baby. I love my mom and I'm fine. So I can attest to that. But I think it's also like, once they get to toddlerhood and you're like real parenting because their behavior and like they're going to get things that they don't want sometimes. You're not going to say yes to everything because you feel bad they're going to hate you. You have to set that boundary. And I know that they're just babies, but I think it is important to realize it doesn't feel good to do it. And I get that, but it's also in the long run, having your child sleep makes everyone happier.
It was a gift to the whole household.
Yeah.
If mother is happy, if father is happy, if our relationship is happy, baby's going to be happy. Like, what would you rather have? A baby who's just pumped to sleep with you every night, or a family that's sleeping and functional and healthy and happy? In the long run, that is so much more worth it to me than baby cuddling up in bed with me every night.
Right. And another one thing that you talk about and touch on, which I love, and I think is a really important topic, is letting other people step in and help. Because everyone talks about the village. And then we have this Vent Away series, and a lot of them write in about they don't have the village. And it's really hard. It's so hard to do it on your own. And we should not have to do it on our own. So how do you, I guess, let that happen, especially if, let's say, you don't get along with your in-laws or you don't have family? Like, what are your tips for this?
Yeah, I'm really blessed to be a part of a church community where there is a lot of support. My parents are really, really busy. So there wasn't a lot of support on that end. And I don't hold that against them. Like, I know what they're doing and it's important. And so I allowed young people, like when the baby was new, young girls want to see what you're doing. And so I let her come along. I said, you want to see how I change a diaper? Come here, come watch how I changed this diaper. And I started training her alongside me so that when the baby was old enough to be babysat, I've already got this girl who loves my baby, who's been trained by my way, has been watching, and now she can't wait to become a mom someday. And that's one of the reasons why people aren't wanting to become moms, is because as moms, we're not sharing and allowing people into our worlds. We're so tight. No one look at my baby. Nobody breathe on my baby. Nobody touch my baby. And it's meant to be a shared experience. Number one, there is some legitimacy to people not having a village. I understand that. I've felt the pains of that. But number two, you might be the reason you don't have a village.
Yeah.
And it's your lack of trust. And there are so many options these days. There's people you can let in who you trust. There's places that now take your children and they're really highly vetted. And it's up to you to trust.
It's up
really
to you to
is.
open up and let go. It's a control thing, right? It's like
Yeah.
letting go of control. I don't have my family here, and I've had to learn probably the harder way to create that village. Like you
Yeah.
said, train the right people, even if it's hard at first, because it is annoying to keep training people and all that,
Yeah.
and to have a bigger support system. So if you need anything, someone's there. I remember like when I had my baby, I was so nervous, like who's going to take care of my
Yes.
toddler? What if I went to labor in the middle of the night if no one answered their phone? And I remember asking my neighbor, and that was like a really big thing for me. Like, would you mind mind coming over if I got you in the middle of the night? And they were like, of course, right? So it's just like the asking part, I think, is really hard for moms.
And people are happier than we think they are to be involved.
Yes.
They want to be involved. And you have to let go of the perfectionism of how things need to be done. So have you ever seen that meme where it's like mom entering to fix bedtime routine because dad's doing it wrong, and it's Snape walking in and closing all the doors?
Oh, yes.
Yes. I hate that because that's number one, control. You're demeaning how your husband is being involved in the bedtime routine. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be a certain way. If your child needs bedtime to be done like a certain way every single night, to me, that's an issue. And allow people to be involved. That's why you don't have a village, because you're controlling everybody and you're demeaning how they're involved. Your husband probably would, I hope, would love to help. But if we don't allow them to do it in their own messy ways and just laugh it off and just let them be men, and at least they're helping, the boomers never changed to diapers. Like the millennials and Gen Z men are so much more involved in fatherhood. And I think it's one of the greatest things that this generation has contributed to parenthood.
What advice would you give a mom who wants to be like that, but is having trouble with letting go of control?
The way the diapers changed is not going to kill anybody. Like the brand of diaper cream you're using, it's really not going to affect that baby that bad. Like you have to look internally and say, why do I feel a need to control everything?
And usually that's from childhood.
And it's also fear. Like you're fearful. And of what? You got to let go of this fear that's gripping you, and it's guilt. Moms are so driven by mom guilt, and it completely clouds their judgment from any healthy, sane decision making.
Do you ever struggle with mom guilt?
In the beginning, I was a spiral, like postpartum whack going on. And so I found myself spiraling very quick. And that's kind of when I started to call those boomers up again. Like, I'm just scared that if I don't do this, I said, scared. See, everything you're doing is scared and guilt. Let it go. You've got to get released of that. And so honestly, like I just have trust. I have faith in God that He gave me this baby, and I trust that He's going to give me wisdom to raise this baby correct. And I just listen to sound advice. Stop going to TikTok. Stop asking. Honestly, don't ask young moms who are full of fear. Find a young mom who's chill and brings you peace. And if you don't have that, go call a boomer and ask them what to do. I'm a fan of the boomers. Boomers get a lot of hate. I think boomers.
We have some, we love them, but then there's sometimes that they say comments about like how our kids eat and things like that we're like, can we not?
I understand. They don't understand a lot of what we're doing. But on another end,
they have
probably look crazy to them.
So as someone who's built a career on social media, how do you really not look at other content that is just not for you? And you're very clear, you're like, no, I'm not going to go there. But I think for us, it's very hard to scroll and...
Yeah, how do you protect that?
I dislike the video. Like I truly do. So like when I was pregnant and they were like, just get ready, because TikTok knows what you're looking at. And it started sending me things like, you're going to be so depressed postpartum. Just get ready, like for what it feels like. And like, I'm like, okay, what? So I scrolled, and then another one's like, I'm literally so unhappy with my life. I don't think I can go on any longer. Like be careful if you have children. Like what is going on? So I started disliking things. And so now I don't dislike as much because I'm looking for content. But in the beginning, when I was really susceptible, I had to dislike things that were really robbing my peace and robbing my joy. And then I unfollowed women that were robbing. Like it's the same in life as it is on social media. Don't follow people who rob your joy and your peace. Find people who encourage you and uplift you and make you feel like you can do it. I have so many girls who commented on my Instagram and said, I finally feel like I can have a baby after watching your videos. I've been so discouraged for so many years, and I feel like this is possible. And that's my entire mission, just to show moms, you can do it. Have babies. It's the greatest blessing on the planet, and it's not as scary as they make it seem.
And to let go of perfection, which is what I love so much about your content. You see these like curated Instagram feeds of everything being perfect, and then you're like, oh shit, I can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
And what do you say? Because I so appreciate the positivity in the mom content, because I remember even being pregnant for the first time and seeing all these negative birth stories. It was like the worst thing to come across. But what about the community who has their mental health struggles or is having a hard time and wants to feel seen? Like, how do you make that balance and also respond to people who might be dealing with that, but
Mhm.
come to your content?
Yeah, I think that there is no doubt, scientifically speaking, that some women are going to deal hormonally with postpartum in ways that honestly a good amount of us won't. And because we've made postpartum depression such a streamlined word, everybody thinks they're dealing with it. And it's like maybe after you've had a baby and you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen my friends in weeks and I haven't been sleeping and I'm really tired. Am I depressed? No, you're not. Like you're just going through a major life change. And I think we've jumped on this word depression way too quick and all have adopted it as our own. Whereas there's women who actually legitimately deal with that and they need to get the help spiritually, medically, that they need to heal from that. And I affirm that, but I'm speaking to the mass majority of don't adopt that as your own thing. That doesn't have to be you. That's a group of women who are going to deal with that hormonally, chemically. And most of us are just dealing with a major life change that we're trying to process and get through.
Mm-hmm. And so you speak about faith, and I think that having a connection to a higher power can really help you through these transitions. So tell us a bit about, what you do. And I want to hear about how that infused now on social media and how that has helped you through motherhood.
Yeah. So I was a pastor at a church in Phoenix, and I still am now in San Diego. And so I was a manager of an entire campus. And so I was like, I'm not having a baby. I'm so freaking busy. I don't have time for this. And then I had this baby and my whole life changed. And everything I believed became even more real to me. And I believe that God works through women in such beautiful ways by giving us babies. It makes us stop. It makes us think. It makes us pray. It makes us look internally because there were so many things that were so wrong with me that when I had a baby, I was like, I can't pass this to my baby. I've got to work on this. I've got to look internally. I've got to fix myself because now the next generation that God has given me is relying on me. And I believe that, if women were no longer having babies, we would all become a lot more selfish, ignorant people. Like God works so beautifully through this gift called children. And he's everything. He's every day. I mean, wisdom. What do I do today? Like my toddler is screaming in restaurants, throwing food, and I'm really angry. And I don't know how to handle this, Lord. Like I'm going to lose my mind. And he just brings me peace. And I just have a conversation with him every single day. Like, what do I do? How do I parent? And I'm raising this child for him. And I'm raising a child with faith in the home so that someday he'll grow up and know God himself as well.
That's so beautiful. I think it's just so important to have that voice in your head with this higher power because as you mentioned in those moments, you're going to lose your shit.
Yeah. It's bigger than you.
Yeah.
It has to be.
It's so hard to find peace.
Yeah. I mean, this morning I was just about to lose it. Basically, my husband was sick and I'm like, we don't have time for you to be sick.
Yeah, exactly.
My nanny was running late. I'm like, because I feel like as moms, and I think that this is where a lot of the stress comes from and resentment towards their partners is we keep going when we're sick. We have the mental load so that finally when we don't have the support we need, we crack and we're like, well, it's all on me. This is the one time I needed it. And I think as moms, it kind of goes back to what you were saying is like letting people take over.
Yeah.
But when we are run such a tight ship and we don't let that happen, one thing that goes wrong or one person getting sick, I mean, we lose our shit.
Right. That's why it's so important for me to have a faith, somebody to turn to, because it wouldn't be possible with me. I mean, I've dealt with so much anxiety, fear, different things mentally over the years, and only God could have healed me from all of that and prepared me. I mean, years ago, I would have said that this lady should have never had a child because she's not okay. God completely healed me so that I can be a better mom for my children. And it also, our faith teaches us about the importance of children and why they should be valued and loved and why our mission as moms is one of the greatest missions on the planet. We are so important.
Yeah, I think something you brought up just earlier really hit for me of like kids come into our life to teach us and to heal so many parts of us. And we don't want to pass on certain things of how we were raised or certain limiting beliefs or narratives that we have. But it is very hard to be very self-aware of them and then actually do the work. So Dale and I are obsessed with this work because when we see triggers come up and when we see us getting like super upset about something, we really try to dig deeper and like, where is that coming from? Okay, like what happened in my childhood where is this coming from? Because usually it comes from that. What advice would you have for moms who are like honestly scared to go there, to like open that can of worms? Because I think once you open the can of worms, you don't really go back. Like I'm all about like bring on triggers because that means I can figure out what it could be.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people just don't go there. They're like, I'm not even going to touch it.
You have to go there. In Christianity, we believe a lot about generational curses. And if you don't fix these things, like let's say your family deals with alcoholism, if you don't deal with this and break this curse, you could pass that to your children. I've seen so many moms who deal with anxiety, and crippling anxiety is the disease of our day. It really is. Everybody has anxiety. And I've watched anxious moms pass anxiety down to their children. And their children become anxious. They can't be dropped off anywhere. They can't keep food down. They're vomiting it all up. And it's because we've passed that down. And this isn't just about you in your triggers. This is about what could be passing down to your children. And you have to give them to God, and you have to get freedom from that. And you guys can always DM my page, whoever's watching, and I'd be happy to walk you through that if you're interested in that. But you have to do it because we're passing these things down to our children.
And how do you go about that? So let's say something comes up and you're like, oh, I hate that I'm doing this because this is something that how I was raised.
Yeah.
How do you move forward? Is it like, I have a therapist, love her. I actually feel like I've worked with her even more since having a baby because a lot more things have come up. But if it's not a therapist, like what other suggestions do you have for people who want to go there?
Number one, I believe it's a spiritual issue. And then number two, I believe it's a habit issue. Like there's habits that we have to have enough gumption to break. And so in Christianity, we call this deliverance. And deliverance is two parts. There's a spiritual issue, but there's also a you issue that you have to break this habit. And so if you see a therapist, fine. But we would say, go see a pastor. Get prayer about this. And once you get prayer, it opens your eyes to the issue. It's like, okay, I see very clearly now what is going on in my situation. Then I have to make a plan, like sit down and write out. I am going to make specific goals and plans so that I don't act this way anymore. I saw a therapist for a while too, and she's like, identify your triggers. So when you get this trigger of, I'm so mad, everything's messy. Why? Stop. Why am I so mad? It's all messy. Okay, number one, I feel like I have to control this household in order for me to be happy. And if it's not in control, then I'm a bad mom. So you got to stop and walk yourself through this process of why is this triggering me so bad? And when you start to understand what's triggering you, then you can start to make the change. And the help with God, when you pray with him, he'll help you realize these triggers. Sometimes I don't know what my trigger is. I'm like, I'm just pissed and I don't know why I'm pissed. I'm like, God, why am I so mad? Will you just reveal this to me? And over time, as I just sit in his presence, he opens my eyes. I'm like, oh my gosh, this actually stems from when I was a kid. Like I've carried this for years. I got to let this go and get freedom.
Do you write those things down?
I should. There's just so many, man. I'm always like, ding, 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 ding. Like, you got to figure this out.
I met this girl who's like very conscious of it. And each time there's a trigger, she kind of like writes it down so that she can notice it and be like, oh no, that's from there. Like, let's not react. And I think it does take a lot of time and consistency to get past a trigger. It's not like one time you're like, oh, don't listen to it. It's going to go away.
Yeah. No, I think you should write it down. And you should write your dreams down too. Because your dreams are speaking. Like it's your subconscious mind speaking to you. And all these things can be tracked and tell you a lot about yourself as moms.
I think that spirituality has shifted a lot. And I think now what the trending thing is manifestation. Like everyone's talking about manifestation. And I think there's so many adaptations of it, but it's kind of the same. When people say that they're praying for something or it comes from, I feel like, the same overarching, it is spirit. They don't realize that it is spirituality. And I think, writing things down, identifying what you want, taking time and space to get clear and really, I guess, looking at the big picture. And I think that's so important. And I've realized more than ever how important that is. Our generation is really starting to open their eyes a little more to that. I think it was a little lost. So it is interesting how people adapt to it and what is the trendy word now is, manifestation, which I love.
There's just a lot of buzzwords and fads and things.
Yeah.
And I feel like people were doing manifestation for years by like just having faith and all of that. And now it's a trend in one direction. Like what are some other trends that you're seeing that you're just like, you can't handle them? Regardless on like motherhood or just in general, things you see on TikTok and you're like, no.
I think you're right about the crunchy mom thing. Like, look, once in a while, I got to run through the McDonald's drive-thru.
Yes.
And it's not the end of the world. It really isn't. Like the crunchy mom thing, I see validity in it. It is important. We have gotten out of whack as a culture, but the pendulum swings all throughout history. And right now, the pendulum is really swinging in this crunchy mom favor. And it's like, okay, could we just calm down a little? Formula. You know what? My nephew was formula fed. My baby was breastfed. My nephew is really freaking smart. Like completely smart. Did Similac from Costco and he is killing it. And so then when I did switch to formula, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do Similac. I've got to do Kendamil. And they can't even keep Kendamil freaking stocked in Target. Like, and all these Similac moms are living their best life. Like no concern at all. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? And all these babies are okay. They're okay. Now choose the best where you can. Like, for example, I've cut out those nasty nonstick pans, things that we use every single day that are proving to be long-term, really bad decisions. I am humble enough to say, absolutely, I will switch that out. But McDonald's and once in a while, a scoop of Similac, I mean, come on.
People are more comfortable living in extremes. And by the way, the crunchy moms that I know, that the moms that won't touch a seed oil are all getting Botox. And that's like the number one. And like, listen, no shade to that, but it's like, you're so focused on like this minutia, like this one scoop of Similac or this one seed oil. And then they go to run to their filler and lip filler appointments. That's why I don't buy into it so much. It's because I'm all for 80-20. I'm all for, do what you can.
Yeah.
But to, I guess, shame for this one little thing and then to do something else, it just doesn't make sense. Like just have kind of like a more relaxed approach and say, hey, like these are the things that I care about. These are the things I don't, but don't go telling everyone like, do not go near that like Whole Foods salad bar because they put canola oil in there. And I'm like, okay, gotta go to my Botox appointment. And it's just like, let's just like ease up a bit.
It's ridiculous. And this is the sad reality. And I might get canceled because everybody's getting cancer.
It's crazy.
Sorry, like let's look long term and say everybody is getting sick. Like this isn't the one time you had a McDonald's French fry. Like this was not the result of this. I know people who've eaten like crap. My grandma has had butter melted on her popcorn every night and she is living her best life. And then I know people who've lived really healthy and they get cancer. Like you don't know what's going to happen to us. Only God knows what our future is, which is why we've just got to trust, make the best decisions we can. But you know what's worse for your body than the seed oil?
Stress
fear.
And fear. Yeah.
Yes. That's behind all of the crunchy mom culture. It's like the ultra crunchy mom culture is the fear. And it's like fear that this is going to happen. And even with like cancel culture a while ago, it's like, okay, all these people like want to cancel different things. Well, how far are you going to take that? Right? It's the same with the food. They're like, well, I'm not shopping at this place because they said that. Okay, well then are you going to not go to this place too because they said that too? It's the same concept with food. So if you cut this, but then you're going to get Botox, like how far are you going to take this? Like we live in extremes. So like just chill out.
Where do you get your conviction from? Because I feel like even starting social media in this day and age, like I struggle with this because I'm so worried about the cancel culture. But I think the reason why you're growing so much is because you are so sure about your direction and the people that are interested will follow.
Yeah.
But how do you kind of create this like bubble around yourself that's like, I don't care about the negativity, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah. I know this, I sound like a broken record, but truly God is everything. Like this world is changing every single day, something new. There's new trends, like we've talked about this entire time. There's new fads. There's new spiritual words that are coming out. But the one constant in my life that I can depend on, that is a rock for me from beginning to end, is the Word of God. And that's why I look at something new and I go, give me a second. Let me hold that up against my rock and see, does it relate? And the rock holds me steady. It holds my children steady. It gives us a way to live, a way to depend upon. It gives us a formula for my marriage. Like it's everything. And I've found that the world is looking for something steady. They're confused. We all have whiplash. I go on the news every day and I'm like, what is going on? I'm so confused.
So heavy, the world.
What do you do if you don't have something like a Bible to go back to and say, but this is true? I don't know what's true. I don't know who's lying. I don't know what news article is real. This is all so confusing, but I know that this word of God is true and it can guide me for all of eternity and my family as well. And that's where I get my conviction from.
Yeah, it's just like trust in the larger power at stake, whether you believe in God or universe or whatever you choose to know that like you are exactly where you need to be. You are exactly on your right path. But what I so admire about you is that you're so authentic. You are like the most, I just met you today and you just are so genuine.
Thank you.
And you're not about to say things just because other people want to hear it. And I think unfortunately in today's world with social media, people are creating content just because they know that this will go viral or, whatnot. And you have managed to stay true to such authenticity, despite I'm sure getting some hate, right?
Totally.
So how do you deal with the hate? Do you talk back to it? Do you just let it go?
It's a daily battle.
And what is the hate normally coming from? Like, what are the main hates that you're getting other than like sleep training?
Sleep training is number one. I would say number two is bottle warmer. Okay. Women love their bottle warmers. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm just trying to help you, girlfriend. Like I'm trying to make your life easier. Number three is my faith. People hate that. What I stand for and what I believe. And that's okay. And I think the beauty is that we can all believe what we want to believe. And we can talk and have conversations just like this. And people want your authentic self. They want to know that they're loved, that they're heard, and that you're real. And I think that social media culture is so annoying because these women are so fake. Like one day they're saying one thing or they're mimicking other influencers. And I'm like, who are you? That's why you're not going viral. Because you're not you. Just be you, stick to it. You're going to get some hate and you're going to get some love. I probably lose like 500 followers sometimes for posting a video, but then I gain like 800 ones who are like, thank you for being real. You're going to lose some love and you're going to gain some real authentic love.
No, it's amazing that you've been able to stay in that space. It's like, Dale was talking about this earlier too. Like people don't like something and they unfollow you and it's hard not to like take that personally. It has nothing to do with you. And I do think like, let's say looking at your content and the ones who do unfollow you, they're triggered by something inside of them that they're insecure about. But the people who are open and maybe not even believe in your views, at least they can be curious and they can be like, like interesting point. And that's expanded my mind a little bit. I may not agree with her, but like I understand her point. And I think that's where we all need to be is a little bit more curious and open to other people's narratives. You don't have to agree with them. I'm not telling you to agree with them. Exactly. But it's like, it's more expansive. It's like, I think it's super inspiring that other people have this view or created this business, even though like, that's not something I would do. But I'm like, I look at that, I'm like, wow, good for them. Versus like, oh my God, that's horrible. I need to unfollow and whatever it is, right? It's just like nowadays there's just so much excess information that we just, I don't know.
And that's what, there was a statement made by Charlie that when we stop talking, that's when war will begin. And if we can talk, if we can just like, I want to hear from you. I want to know what you believe and I'll share what I believe and we can learn from each other. And honestly, as moms, we should, because we've all learned so many different tips. We have different hacks. We have different life experiences. And if we don't have each other as moms, who do we have? I mean, we're home all day with children. Who else are we talking to? Even if moms we don't agree with, I mean, we're making our circles of love and influence very small because we're being selective and we're canceling everybody. If we can just open our circles of love and learn and talk and inspire one another, we're going to be much happier people. And I think that's a lot of the reason why moms have become so depressed, so secluded. They don't have villages because we cancel everybody who doesn't think the way I do. Like, oh, you give your kid goldfish? Oh, you're the devil. Like, you're going to hell from giving your kid Cheez-Its. Like,
it's really crazy. What are you doing differently this time with this child? Is there anything that you're like, no, that was too high maintenance I did with my first. I need to go back to low maintenance.
Yeah, I'm going to get canceled for this. I'm probably going to put the baby in the crib right away on night one. I'm not going to bring the baby into my room at all. Why do we buy monitors and like vests that show the baby's breathing and $600 if we're not going to use them? Like by the time I actually put my baby in the crib, I'm like, this isn't even useful. Like, why did I buy this? So I'm going to start sleep training. earlier, probably about 3 months. I always tell people, let the newborn be the newborn. Yeah. Don't try to control that. Just let them breathe. Let them figure out life. You're figuring it out. Around the 3-month mark is when I would say
that's when we did it.
You can start getting serious. 4 months was too late.
Yeah.
We did. I also did the crib from day one, but we did have help. We had a night nurse.
Genius.
And I will say it's definitely a privilege.
Yeah.
But I will say that, especially with things like the SNU or things like that, when people introduce it too late, like my personal opinion is what you do from the beginning, like make a decision early on, because a lot of people will try to introduce the SNU a month later and then it's like not working. It's like, well, the baby's already used to something else. So you have to be very careful about like switching it up. Or, I mean, you can train the baby again, but it will just make it a little harder.
Yeah. And I always tell people like, and I'm going to do this better even next time, is a variety of sleep sacks and sleep suits. Like you're not going to get used to just this one.
The one lucky one.
That has a hole in it and it smells terrible. Like you're going to be able to use many different options because I want variables with your sleep.
Okay. And what else like are you going to do differently? Like, is there something around solids, is toys, like what else?
You know, I never pushed the baby-led weaning thing very far because I can't stop thinking about this. I laugh so hard. There was this video of this girl on social media, like her baby's like gagging and she's like, okay, if they gag, it's okay. Like she's chanting this thing to herself, like this baby-led weaning thing of like, if they're blue, like give him CPR. I don't remember what it was. It was so, I'm like, why are you doing this to yourself? I'll be less fearful around what to introduce and when. I'm going to introduce allergens even earlier. Next time, I probably waited too long. I'm like, peanut butter on day one, man. Like, I talked to my allergist and he was like, if you avoid giving your children certain things, like they could develop an allergy to it. And there's a lot of things that I waited because I wasn't sure that I'm just going to start like, you're going to be a baller kid. We're going to do it right away and you're going to figure it out. It's going to be awesome. I'm not going to hop on the baby-led weaning thing. I think before they have teeth, like they're not ready. Why force a grape down their mouth if they're not ready to chew it? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, I didn't force it ever either. I stuck with purees and then I slowly introduced it, but I felt like behind. People were like, oh, well, you know, if your baby can eat a rib at 6 months, then like their gag reflex is better. And I was like, just because I waited with that and did the purees didn't mean he wouldn't learn how to eat.
Yeah.
And how are you going to have your kids meet?
Oh man, I really loved these videos I've been watching about moms who almost went and met them in the hall and then brought them in. Or if they come into the room and you're in bed, don't be holding the baby.
Right.
Like, come take him first. So I'm going to really follow that advice.
Are you going to do a gift?
That's a good idea. I haven't thought much about it. Like, I'm just trying to survive this pregnancy right now.
Because I want to know, okay, what are some other things in your pregnancy that's like low maintenance too?
Yeah.
That you don't subscribe to with all the...
Yeah, it's really fear culture. This pregnancy, compared to the last one, has been a lot more difficult. Girls are a whole different world. Like, I believe all the midwife tales. Or is that what they're called? Midwife tales? Yeah, I'm like, it's real. Like, I have been so sick with the girl and the boy was nothing. It was the best pregnancy ever.
Wow.
I had spotting with this one.
I had the opposite, by the way.
Did you? Isn't that funny? I mean, I haven't even seen a doctor yet. Like, I'm 12 weeks, so I'm fine. I'm going next week. But I'm like, I've just kind of been like, YOLO, like my body knows what to do. I'm going to figure this out. And I checked that to make sure I was pregnant.
We missed this whole thing. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
What made you not like, because I mean, I was over here like when I was like 5 weeks.
I wanted to go to the doctor at 6 weeks.
Yeah. Let me right now, like call the ER. Like,
yeah. Well, number one, we were transferring insurances at the time. So it was kind of like, okay, this is really difficult. If I really wanted to push through, I could have. But I just went to a clinic and I'm like, we're good. It's not ectopic. Like, awesome.
Okay, yeah.
And so they made sure it wasn't ectopic, but I haven't been going to any of my appointments. And I'm like, I called my doctor. I'm like, hey, 12 weeks, I probably should see you, huh? He's like, yeah, let's get you on the schedule. So I'm going next week. And, you know, I spotted between that and I was panicking and I was scared. But what I did is I just called women who've had babies before. I'm like, should I worry? Like, have you had this before? And they calmed my fears. I mean, I don't know, the second time around, you enjoy it so much more because you're just not like, what's happening? What's this ache in my body? What's this? Like the first time you don't know what it feels like. The second time it's like, whatever. Like,
are you going to eat sushi?
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah.
Sushi was one thing.
I've been doing like charcuterie meat and stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't done like tuna. I don't really crave that, but I have nothing against it.
Okay. I want to talk about products to end. Like, tell me some products that are just like, fit the vibe of the low maintenance mom, and then some products that are like, save that.
Number one, I don't know if you guys had this, so I'm sorry, but the snoo, don't do it.
No, we didn't
Don't
have
do
that.
this new.
Yeah.
Why?
I feel that like if you're going to train a baby to need to be like wrapped up and vibrated every night, like what happens when you move them into the crib? Like that crib don't vibrate. Like you got 4 months with that sucker and it's like, what, I don't know. I think that's a lot of money. And then you might create an issue. Like you might create something that they need to now fall asleep. So you're going to be like in the nursery chair, like trying to shake them every night to fall asleep. What are we doing? Tush baby, love. Get
Wait,
that tush
what's
baby.
tush baby?
Tush baby is this little thing you can hook on your.
Oh, yes. I got that from an Instagram ad.
Yes.
You put the baby on the hip.
So I went to Europe when my baby was 4 months with him. And they made me, I didn't know that they were going to do this, check my stroller, check my bags. They're like, you cannot bring anything in the airport with you. So all I had was my tush baby. And it has pockets where I put all the diapers, the bottles, the formula. I was like a walk-in 8-hour like diaper bag. And
It's
it
like
was
a belt
awesome.
that essentially
They
Okay.
can sit on
Sit
it.
on it.
We're going to link that.
And then on the airplane, he was able to lay flat on it
Oh, wow.
and nurse and lay flat and sleep. Like, and then as a toddler now, I'm using it every day. I don't want to pull out that stupid stroller. Like that thing's so heavy. And so I just use the tush baby and he sits on me and he walks with me and it's awesome.
Wow.
You can use it to like 45 pounds, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty
Okay,
great.
what's next?
Okay, skip the bottle sterilizer.
We say that a lot.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
that's
no,
the
we
the
say-
formula maker, I'm
I
is
hate
out
that.
for me.
No, that's out. Yeah.
I did a whole video on that.
Okay, yeah.
That was the reason why my baby wasn't sleeping through the night. And here's the thing. I breastfed my first a lot longer than my second.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to ounces, it was not as important as it was in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's not always the case with the baby Brezza formula maker. Some people love it, but the distribution is not equal. And I had a sleep consultant and she said, just promise me, just get rid of it and just hand mix it.
Yeah.
That night on, he started sleeping through the night. And I think it was because the scoops it wasn't dense enough.
And how simple, I mean, to just go, dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. Wait, I want to know what she thinks about that skip hop thing.
Oh, the Skip Hop Activity Center.
I love activity centers.
It's useful.
I like the
it's
Nemo
very
one.
useful.
Which one?
The Nemo one.
Which one's the Nemo one?
The most stimulating one. With all the bubbles.
With all the
and
colors?
yes, it's whack. And I
Oh,
love
wow.
it. And
Okay,
I'm
good
like,
to know.
that's how I get ready in the morning. Are you kidding me? Like, how else am I going to get ready? Like,
What are some things we should not have?
not have?
Like in terms of like, we have so much clutter, we have so much
Yeah.
shit. Like, what don't we need?
You don't need the bottle warmer. I'm sorry. Like run it under some hot water.
Okay.
You're fine. Then if you have a bottle warmer and the baby's used to a warm bottle, you can't just make a bottle like the rest of us. And you got to wait. Sorry, kid, cry for 5 minutes while I heat this bottle up. Like you've
It's true.
trained.
I'm in that trap.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's almost over though.
Yeah,
It's basically
good.
over.
Good. The wipe warmer, you don't need.
Agree.
Technically, you don't even need a changing pad. Like truly, like if you're really struggling for money, don't go buy the what is it, $200 Kikaroo. I have it, but I love it. But you don't need it. You really don't. I can change the baby anywhere. Don't do the bassinet. Don't buy that. Just get a great pack and play. And they make pack and plays now that can zip down to be a bedside bassinet. They grow out of that bassinet in 4 months. It's $300 for something that they'll be out of very quickly. And their pack and play can do the same thing. Buy a great mattress for the pack and play. That's a better way to do it. Skip the sterilizer, do the bottle washer. Because why are we washing bottles then sterilizing? Like if you're going to pay that much for a
if someone
sterilizer,
could just wash the bottles for me, that would be great.
yeah, just get the bottle washer. Like it does everything.
I heard you
for
can put them in the dishwasher.
You
I
can.
You can after a while. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can. And you can even get microwavable like steam bags if you really wanted.
And what
Sounds
are
too
your,
high maintenance for
what's
me.
your
It is.
opinion on the Passy?
I'm still letting my kid have them.
Mhm.
But like that's a decision I've made. I
How
love
old
it.
is yours?
He's almost 2. So
Almost
we've
2.
made a decision on the 2, like when he turns 2, it's done.
How are you going to do that?
We are going to cut a hole in it. Like honestly, we've got one left. We don't know where the other ones went. And it's like when this one's gone, it's gone. And it's a decision I've made. So like during the day, I do try to limit when he gets it. And it's really like it's a soothing moment kind of thing. It's when he's crying, it's when he's sleeping. And sometimes he falls asleep without it and he throws it and he doesn't have it. And I don't go get it for him. I don't hand it back to him. So I've just made the decision that's something I'm willing to deal with. And I think if you're willing to deal with whatever you're introducing to your kid, that's completely your decision. But just know the risks that come with it. Like I know it's going to be a hard time getting rid of this.
Yeah.
But what it offers me in the meantime is so worth it to me.
Honestly, I could talk to you all day. Your perspective is so refreshing. If anyone does not follow you, can you tell us where to find you, all of the platforms, because we need more of you on our feed and less of the perfectionist mom, and life would just be a lot easier as a mom.
Well, this was so much fun. I love talking with you both. We absolutely would be besties. I can just tell already.
For sure.
We're the same way. Aubrey Matthesius on Instagram and TikTok.
We will link it in the show notes.
Thing. Yeah.
Well, good luck with the rest of your pregnancy.
Good luck.
We are so
great
excited to
you.
hear how the rest of your journey unfolds, and we'll be watching.
And we'll be following.
You too.
Bye.